George, we've got a kind of a special event going on tonight.
Yes, we do, Joe. How's it going, man?
Excellent. How are you?
I am awesome. Everything is great. I'm excited about tonight's show. It's very cool. We're doing like a live satellite show within our live show. It's like staring into a mirror that's looking into a mirror into a mirror. No, it's nothing like that. But it's going to be very cool tonight, and I'm very excited. We've got Lance and Samantha Wagner from the Wagner Wiles on location in Bastrop, Texas at the Cult Classic Convention. And they're going to be down there kind of doing a play-by-play and talking to some very cool people for everybody to tune in and check out tonight. Other than that, what else is going on with you, Joe? We've got a couple of minutes, right?
Well, we have a couple of more guests also. We have
Let's bullshit. We've got oh, sorry, look at the face. I'm excited. Go ahead. We've got another amazing guest after that. I was just excited about the live fucking feed. Is that okay?
I guess.
Jesus.
You all right now? You need a minute?
I need to blame you for something. Look at that mug. Blame Joe. Coffee mug. Right there.
That is awesome.
We've got John Dugan on from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. We've also got Terry Jarrell from the Drone Cav coming on. He's going to do a little bit for us tonight. It's very cool, but we're about to get started with Lance and Sam here. Joe, before we do that, we should probably just talk about a couple of little things. Little housekeeping things, right? Like we are now, well, first of all, everybody's listening to the Romero Pictures Indie Brigade podcast with your host, George C. Romero and Joe Ridgely. That's for all of our audio-only listeners because we are syndicated now across a lot of different audio-only platforms. Joe, you want to list those real quick?
I could do one even better. Let's iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pandora, TuneIn, Radio Public, and Breaker.
Joe, that's a nice scroll there across the bottom of the screen.
Everybody else thought I had that rehearsed. Thank you very much. Damn it.
Well, you know, it's for the audio-only people. I need to let them know, you know, that you're not on it like that.
Absolutely. Let's see. We've got Dino saying Happy Valentine's Day. Hello, Dino.
What's up, Dean?
We got Sean. Always a great supporter.
Sean.
And we've got Ange. We love Ange. Ange has been there since day one. Matt, I don't know who you are because it just says Matt. So hi, Matt.
What's up, man? And
we've got another Matthew. So,
all right.
Is the ninja thing a theme?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe it is. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's the same guy and he's watching on YouTube and Facebook.
Gotcha. And Facebook.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me go ahead and figure out all the tech behind Romero Pictures Indie Brigade podcast for you, Joe.
Well, thank you very much. Wow. All right. Well, you know what I'm going to do just so I don't have to talk anymore?
What's that?
I'm going to bring Sam and Lance on.
I'm excited for this. Pop them up here.
I am. And
there is Lance Wagner.
Lance Wagner from the Wagner Wiles. Just Bill Oberst Sr., the coolest guy in the world.
Just Bill Oberst, just standing right there.
Bill. George is there. Who else there? I can't even see. George C. Romero and Joe Ridgely. George, I know you hear this all the time, but you have inspired me, not only artistically, but as a businessman, as a marketer, and I admire you and I thank you for what you've done for the genre in which I've been happy to play a little part. And thank you for what you're doing with distribution, because distributors have been screwing us for decades.
Yeah, they have. Bill, thank you so much for those kind words, man. That means the world to me coming out of you. You just put me on cloud nine. That was about the coolest thing ever. I'm nerding out over here. Thank you very much, Bill. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to have you here tonight. There's Samantha.
I think so. I got my glasses on. So now it's on you. It's on you. There it is. Wagner Wiles.
Yeah, definitely join us. Join Lance and Sam on the Wagner Wiles.
Say you've been with Lance.
You have been with Lance
and Sam on the Wagner Wiles, and you damn well have liked it.
Boom. Thank you, Bill.
I do horror movies, and there are a lot of them, but I must say that the ones that I enjoy the most are the ones that are artistic, and I've just done one in that vein, and it's called DIS, D-I-S. It's brutal, it's extreme, it has been banned, it's also won awards, and if your taste runs to non-vanilla commitment, it's from DIS, the director's Adrian Corona, and I was lucky enough to be in it. It's an art house horror.
Awesome. Awesome.
Excellent.
And we're going to walk to the next person. Hang on. Hi, everybody. Hang on. Here we go.
There's my beautiful wife on Valentine's Day tuning in.
Hold on 1 second. We are here.
What's up, Michael Berry? Just Michael Berryman.
Hold on 1 second. We're waiting our turn in line. They're doing announcements, so it'll be done in just a second. So sorry.
Q&A with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the next generation in the background.
Is that a band?
Here you go, Michael. You are live.
Oh, hello.
That's
Hey,
George.
Michael.
Hello, George.
How are you doing?
Can you hear him?
I'm doing okay. It's kind of noisy. We're getting some people in the background making noise.
How's the weekend? How's the convention?
Just talk about what you do and any projects you might have working on.
Well, we're here in Austin, Texas for a show, and working on my autobiography. I'm doing my final rewrite from my earliest memory as a kid until now, and I'm 71 years old and still kicking it. Bottom line is, life is every day is precious. You know, appreciate. Enjoy your life. Do what's right. Be nice. Stay away from a-holes. I don't know if I can say those other words. Hey, great. Look, if you wake up in the morning and you don't fall down, wake up in the morning and don't fall down, that's a good start. I was just telling a kid next to me, smoking and vaping. Not this kid. He said he didn't know how to quit smoking. So I told his girlfriend that taped across his lip shut, a hole right there, raw in there, and then she needs to take a horse and a buggy whip and chase him down the street till he can't breathe. And then when he's weaving and heezing, tell him that's how every breath will be for the rest of his life. When emphysema kicks in, because the cigarette people and the vaping people, they don't love you. You're wasting and put it to good use. You know, and I'll tell you what good use is. You take that money you saved and you take your old lady to a shoe store.
George is laughing.
Peace.
Man, I'm honored that you just came on here and
Oh, yeah, by the way.
this was just awesome.
Well,
For those that are just listening, we are live at the Bass Art Convention for the Cult Classic Convention, and we are
it is the Romero? Romero Pictures and the Indie Brigade. Romero Pictures and the Indie Brigade. Are you not listening?
Yes.
Watch real close. Left or right? Say it. Left or right?
left or right.
No, say one or the other.
Oh, right.
Peace out, brother.
That was awesome. And we are going to go to William N. Stone for the future Butcher's Bluff. Give me 1 second. He had somebody walk up. One more second.
This is a lot of fun.
So you can hear him.
And even though there was like, hey, what's up?
Just, doing our thing out here at Cult Classic Convention.
Yeah. How's it going, man?
We're sitting here and, whoa, look at that. Hey, look at
Yes.
that pretty face right there.
I can't really hear anything.
It's up to you to talk. You can plug yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Butcher's Bluff is a film we're going to be making here in around Lestrop and Elgin, Texas. We're going to be shooting around April and May. We have Bill Johnson, Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. We have Tyler Shea Cohn from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4. We have Paul T. Taylor from Hellraiser Judgment and Brink Stevens. All social Elsie Holt from Your Next. They're all signed on to be part of the film. We're really excited about doing it, and we can't wait to get it out there. You know, this has been about 2 years in the making. We've been coming around promoting this, and we just wrapped up a pretty successful Indiegogo campaign where we raised $40,000 in 30 days. So. Good times.
It's nothing but congratulations and love to you, man. You're killing it, and I've been watching your project for a while now.
Thank you so much.
It's really nice to see you out there killing it for the indies. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you, and come join us. Join us in the brigade, man.
Thank you so much. You know, I appreciate you helping us and you guys out. We need all the help we can get out there. You know, Hollywood just keeps regurgitating crap, so we need to get like the indies out there putting that original content. You know.
Damn right.
You keep doing what you're doing, bro. I really appreciate you.
Back at you, man. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
So we can find Linnea. Maybe she's Q&A. We're going to try to find Linnea. Here.
We're walking. I'm going to flip it so y'all can see all the people here.
William is a great example.
George Romero.
Hello.
Hey there.
Indie Brigade.
Yes.
Scott Williamson.
Hero, my hero.
Luke and Butcher's Bluff.
I know that cat.
That's Joe.
Hey, Joe.
So that was my first time I remember.
Oops, hold on.
What's going on?
How's it going, guys?
Good, man.
Hey, wait a minute. I mistook him for Brett Michaels, I think.
How's your weekend? How's your weekend going, man?
We're live.
Yeah, how's your weekend?
It's going good, man. We're having an awesome time here at the Cold Classic Convention.
Yeah? What are you doing down there, man?
We come down here to work and help out and just enjoying ourselves, having a good time.
Yeah, and it's going good?
Yeah, it's going great, man.
That's
Looking
awesome.
forward to tomorrow. It should be a lot more packed out tomorrow.
Yeah, that's how it usually works. Well, listen, tell everybody what you're there working on, and give us all a little taste of what's going on with you.
Are you in anything? Didn't you recently get an IMDb?
Yeah, I did. I'm going to be playing Luke in Butcher's Bluff. Then we're going to start shooting in April. Should turn out good. Looking forward to it.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for stopping and talking to us.
It'll be my first film. So
Awesome. Well, congratulations to you.
thank you very much, man. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
All right, we're going back. We can't find Linnea. She's disappeared. She's MIA.
Just show some people.
Yeah, guys, why don't you just go walk around and talk to some folks and
Say hi, Clay.
what's up?
Hi, George. Thank you, brother. Billy, Steve.
One time, y'all are live on TV.
All right.
Do you want to say anything, new art, old art?
How's it going, man?
I gotta go to my table.
He's got to go. He's not playing with us right now.
I'm not. I will play with Lance later.
He's going to play with Lance later, he said.
It's Michael and Drew and Mitch.
Here, go. Go.
Say hi to George.
What up, George?
What's up? How's it going?
We're from Gore Noir
Good,
Magazine.
man.
We are live.
That's right.
We are live. Okay, we're going to go to Brinkley. We are live. This is George Romero.
Hi, George. How you doing?
How are you doing?
It's fun being here. It's a great
Is it?
show.
Is it good? Good. How's life?
Before?
I'm sorry?
Have you done this show before?
No, I haven't. It's I heard it's in its third year. I haven't done that.
Correct.
Yeah, Yeah, I haven't. I'm not. I don't go to a lot of those things. I should. I should go to more, but I just don't.
They have food. Delicious barbecue backstage.
Thank you. All right, we are still walking. Start walking.
Oh no.
We're sorry. They're doing Q&A, so some people disappeared. They're like MIA. Hold on, we're going to go to Tyler Shea next. Tyler's not there either. Yeah. You want to say hi to George Romero?
Oh,
Hey there.
Richard Walters from Pittsburgh, My Bloody Valentine 3D.
Yes, sir.
No, I just did Kecksburg. We did independent film by, anyways, about that UFO back in Westmoreland County. So that's what I just did, and then I'm just gonna move to New Jersey, and we'll see what happens then. I don't know. That's where it's at, man. All right.
Awesome.
Can you
love it.
see it? Yep, my phone turned off.
Hi everybody. How you doing?
George Romero,
Hey, man.
What's up?
you want to introduce yourself?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm so confused. But how you
We're
doing?
live right now.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Hi everybody.
We're just giving everybody a little insight into the. We're just giving everybody a little insight into the convention and letting everybody letting people who can't be there in person kind of get a glimpse at the awesomeness that's going on this weekend.
All that stuff.
Okay, I did a little thing called Texas Chainsaw Part 2. I played Leatherface in it. I was in the movie business for over 30 years. Did many, many, many pictures. Double John Candy, John Goodman, Paul Sorvino, so on and so forth. I was Executioner of Pirates of the Caribbean 1 and 3. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So everybody, hey, everybody, thank you very much, and I will be talking to you. All righty? Thank you.
All righty.
All right, we got one more we're going to go to, and then look, I'm going to show you something really inappropriate. Look, that's Popcorn's member. If I can line it up right, where's it at? Can you see it?
Dick pics.
There it is. So, George Romero, you can hold it.
What's up? How's it going? What are we on a?
Good.
It's kind of noisy here. Yeah, you guys are doing a lot of good stuff with that Indie Brigade. I'm seeing this stuff pop up like crazy.
Yeah, we're trying to, man. We're trying to. It's, we've all been in this grind for a long time, and it's there was a time before when it was collaborative, and it was great, and it was an awesome community, and we've gotten so far away from that. That's what I'm excited about. But this weekend, we're so happy to have Lance and Sam there, so we get to say hi to so many people. Just talk to you real quick, find out what's going on with you. What are you down there? What are you down there?
Yeah, the Texas is where I like doing. I feel the most comfortable. But if I can do something with you guys or collaborate, I'd sure like to help out or whatever y'all are doing and stuff. So I'm all about collaboration and stuff and keeping it alive. But yeah, Texas is where I like. I drove out here to Austin and got into traffic, and I'm thinking, now I know why I make films where I make films, to stay away from the traffic, man. I'll tell you what. So
yeah, man.
I'm going to pass that phone back. I'm having a little tough time hearing out here. But it was great talking to you, and we'll talk to you again when I got some headphones in.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right, thanks, brother.
Okay, we're going to run out real quick. Hold on. I know we probably just made y'all real sick.
This is awesome. There's Lance chasing her.
I run faster than you do.
Oh, man, that felt like
We entertain, right?
I hope.
Yes. The Wagner Wiles. The Wagner, you're right here. Here. Yeah. All right.
All right, we have had a blast here. We've got Saturday and Sunday.
And it's just day one.
Y'all are out in the area or can drive out here. If you're in Texas, it's only a couple hours away from Houston. Tomorrow is 11 to 9, 8:30, and then VIP, and then Sunday from 11 to 5. And we would love to see you here. Lots of people, wonderful food, great company.
Yes. All that. Yes.
Wagner Wiles.
Wagner. We're the Wagner Wiles. show
Okay,
you.
yeah. You got it.
Okay, yes, the Wagner Wiles. We'll be having a new episode soon for you guys. She picked out a really cool movie. Okay, bye.
We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
And thank everybody for putting up with it and
Thank
thank
everybody.
everybody for what they did. It really meant the world to me.
Done.
Will do. Sorry, so noisy. They're doing a Q&A right now.
Yeah, we got you.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Love y'all.
See ya.
Bye, Joe.
Hi. Bye.
Ridgely.
Thank you.
Boom.
Ranchley.
Rigsby.
All right, we love you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
Good night.
That was kick ass, man.
That was fun. I loved that even though the audio went all goofy with Michael, you could still hear everything he was saying. You could still make out his whole story. That was awesome.
And his ears.
Yeah. That was cool. That was cool. That was exciting to talk to all those people and have everybody kind of pop in and say some stuff, you know. It really and who knew that some of those folks like Bill even knew what the hell we were doing. So, you know, that's pretty cool.
I don't know what you're talking about. I get around.
Well, I've heard that about you. You know, now's as good a time as any to kind of point out my awesome new Scare Tactical shirt. Look at that.
Oh, hold on. Wait for
Oh,
it.
yeah. Graphics by Ian Steyer. This is from the Scare Tactical line of merch from the Indie Brigade. If I die, film it.
Yeah, what do you got on the sleeve there?
Oh, look at that. That's some Indie Brigade action right there, just so you let everybody know. And then over here, you got the Romero Pictures. You got, you know, just so everybody knows that it's Romero Pictures, Indie Brigade, and the Scare Tactical line of clothing and artwork designed by Ian Steyer. The cool thing about it is that we're putting a portion of every sale of Scare Tactical merch toward the development and launch of the Veterans Compound, which is something that's very important to me and something that will get done. So get over to RomeroPictures.com and order some Scare Tactical stuff and help us help some vets. Joe, where's yours?
Where's my what?
Where's your Scare Tactical shirt?
I have to ask Omar.
This is really weird. It's like you're just this disembodied voice. It's kind of disturbing.
I know. I like it.
It's disturbing. It's like
The
you
man
could be
behind
anywhere.
the curtain.
You're everywhere and nowhere right now.
I could see my reflection in your head. No.
Oh man. Oh.
Well, we got a few minutes. I'm waiting on Mr. Dugan. We got Terry, who is supposed to be on a little later on. Why don't we bring Terry up now, if Terry doesn't mind? Terry, give me a nod if that's okay. All right. So,
Terry.
Hey.
George, introduce Terry. Let everybody know what Terry's doing and let everybody know what they're listening to right now and who we're talking to and all that good jazz.
Terry needs no introduction. I'm just going to turn the whole show over to him for the remainder of all time.
Oh man.
Thank you, Terry.
Well, you know, I'm underdressed. I mean, I don't have Scare Tactical on.
But you do have a limited edition Romero Pictures Indie Brigade wings shirt.
I do. I keep this under lock and key. It's in a very safe place, guarded at all times. 90-pound German Shepherd. So yeah, it's not going anywhere. I hope.
That's perfect. That's what everybody needs.
Yeah.
You know, thank you for coming on here, man. Just to satisfy Joe, this is Terry Jarrell, the director of the Romero Pictures Indie Brigade Drone Cav. This man has forgotten more about drones than I could ever learn. And he's here to talk with us briefly about some stuff he's doing with us here on the Romero Pictures Indie Brigade podcast with your host, George C. Romero and Joe Ridgely. One of the things that we've finally gotten done is we finally got Terry integrated into the mentor program. So Terry is now a viable mentor, so you can book a session with him. And that's what I'm excited to kind of talk to him about tonight a little bit, because, you know, we want to kind of start spreading the word a little bit about, you know, what we mean when we say a mentor program. You know, this is a program where you can come and book a 2-hour session with anybody in our mentor program, and you can ask them very serious questions. You can do deep dives, drill downs, whatever you need, whatever buzzword you want to call it. When you need answers to things that you're about to go into production, or you're developing a project, or you're writing something, or you're trying to figure out how to get good production value with no money. These are the kind of things you can come to the mentor program and talk to people like myself, talk to people like Terry about. And, Terry his drone cab is really awesome. He's starting to put up episodes on a regular basis. And he's going into detail on things that filmmakers need to know, not what people need to know when they walk into Best Buy to buy a drone. So with that, I'm going to kind of actually turn it over to Terry here.
Oh, well, I appreciate that and having me on as usual. I'm
going to eat a candy bar while you talk.
I've been looking at that, trying to figure out. It just looks like an amazing snack.
It's a Kit Kat. It's awesome.
Man, Kit Kat. Love Kit Kats. But anyway, I'm kind of looking at the drone cab as it sort of evolves and it's getting some traction here. And it's sort of like a multi-layered thing. Like I've got the online blog with text postings and different news and points and topics and tips and tricks, things like that. And then the second layer that we've added recently, we've got 2 episodes up now, and the idea is every Thursday to have a new episode up. And that's going to be a video episode. Well, it is a video episode where you can go on and I'll be talking about a particular topic, but it's not going to be like a real long, drawn out, complicated lesson. It's going to be sort of thought starters, or we're going to focus on like a single point that you can take away immediately. And if you're already flying a drone, maybe apply that, or if you're thinking about using drones in your production, or you're thinking about hiring a drone operator. So it covers a lot of different bases. So that's pretty cool too. But these are still kind of short little sessions that they're going to give you a bit of information to take and work with. Going to the deeper level is the mentoring program. And there is, to be quite honest, just so much involved with flying a drone now that it's far more than what we could really effectively answer all your questions in these sessions. Those are going to be great, and they're going to be good and consistent. But if someone is really, say, a new operator and don't even know where to start with drones, that's when we can sit down. I can spend the time with you one-on-one, talk about what your experience level is, what your intentions are, where you want to go with this, how you plan on using it. Is this going to be a one-shot deal for you, or do you plan on integrating it into your regular ongoing productions? So that way I can kind of fine tune and sort of guide you along the way. Things like what are some good drone models? And the biggie, and I hate to bring it up so much and sound preachy, but it is important to know the FAA regulations and legalities, because those things are getting tighter and tighter all the time, and those guys mean business. If you're flying commercially, there's a lot of things to be aware of in that. You do have to have your certificate. There are certain guidelines that you must meet to fly in legal compliance. And then safety is another big thing, because when you're in the air, I know as a filmmaker, you're thinking about your production, you're thinking about the story and getting the shot and all that. But when you're flying a drone, you're doing 2 jobs. You're a pilot first, and you're a cameraman second. So you have to think of it in those terms. So you really have to put the time in to practice, learn the flying techniques, and just get almost muscle memory down to be able to fly well and handle emergency situations. Read things like a wind gust can cause you a lot of problems. Flying too close to trees, around people, and kind of tight situations like that. So that's, again, what I think the mentoring program would help out with, because I can understand more about exactly how you're going to use drones and walk you through the process. Again, if you're thinking about hiring a drone operator, what do you need to know? Because there's still liability on you if you hire an uncertificated, unlicensed drone operator, and there is property damage or accident or something like that. So things just to kind of keep you out of hot water, but also get the most out of your production, because this is a flying camera platform. The cameras are so good, you can put them literally about anywhere. So those things like crane shots or dolly shots, you can do some really cool things if you set the shot up right, like the dolly zoom effects. It's almost limitless what you can do if you really explore the techniques and get a good handle on flying as well as the camera use. So again, it's kind of doing 2 jobs at once, chewing gum and walking a tightrope, or whatever you want to say. But once you get those things down and practice it, and I'm going to put a plug in here and watch the episodes consistently, there's always something new to pick up, some little thought starter or tidbit, because that's how I stay in it. I do this every single day. I'm out flying all the time. I'm staying up on the news, the new models, any regulatory changes, anything that's coming down the road to improve aerial cinematography. And so I like to kind of funnel all that to the readers and the people that use the mentor program. So it's a lot of resources. I don't know every answer, but if I don't know an answer, I know where to find it for you. So just consider me a resource, and I'm here and available. So,
well, and what's cool about it, and that was a really very well said, better than I could have said. But I mean, what's cool about it is so many of us, man, as these filmmakers, these indie guys, we end up out there being on our own or having to be, 5 different crew members in addition to trying to figure out the creative and the direction and all that other stuff. Especially when we don't have any budgets. And, what I think is cool, and one of my favorite things to discuss with you, is ways to take these little miniature 4K drones and create these dolly shots and these crane angles and all this stuff without the need to go rent a Fisher Dolly, without the need to rent a Super Techno, without the need for any of that stuff that traditionally you need to have to do this stuff in larger budget films. And it's interesting because we've got this generation of folks making films with all the new gear, but a long-term belief of mine, and something you and I have discussed for a long time, actually, is the need to understand the way things used to be done back in the day before this equipment was readily available. Because the idea is that as audiences, we've been trained since the 20s to look at movies a certain way and understand production value, even if as an audience member you don't know that that's what you're looking at. So the idea is to be able to understand the past to move into the future. And I think that that's what's really cool about what else you do with the drone, Kev.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right, because things change so fast. Like, for example, this model, this is my main drone that I fly. It's not that big. I mean, it weighs about 2 pounds, and it's not this big, giant, huge platform. And there's this kind of, do we want to call it old mentality, but a way of thinking that, oh, that's pretty small. I mean, it can't do a good job. I mean, look how small it is. I need one of those really big, giant drones. Not in the least. This camera shoots in 4K up to 60 frames per second. So if you need to slow it down, that's absolutely fine. It's going to be super crisp. You have tons of range in camera settings. It writes at a really fast speed, so it gets that data to the card fast. So you're getting more per cycle onto the card, 100 megabits per second. So it's really, really sophisticated beast. This is getting ready to be updated here in the next month or two, whenever they release it. This is an Autel Evo, and the Evo 2 comes out. They're going to come with 6K and 8K cameras. So, and we're talking like under $2,000 for a rig like that. So, and you can use that for how many productions? I mean, as long as you don't crash it or, lose it, steal it, whatever, you can use that thing over and over and over and get some amazing quality out of it.
That's why we don't let Joe fly them.
Well, I'm just making sure my wife is tuning in. Did you hear that, honey? Bigger isn't always better.
Listen, we've got John Dugan waiting to come up here, but there are a couple of questions real quick. So if we can just kind of address these real quickly.
Absolutely.
And Terry, if you can just kind of address these as quickly as you can.
We can pull Terry back up as soon as we're done with John. I would love to hear more about this. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, me too. But I figured this is relevant and we're in the moment. So unless you want to keep pulling us out of that moment, Joe, we can just move forward real quickly.
I love having moments with you.
Sure. I see Sean's question about the collision avoidance system. Now, that does vary from drone manufacturer to drone manufacturer, the way they implement it. Now, typically, collision avoidance on most of the popular models like the Evo, the Mavic Pro models, that works in the forward motion. So they do have collision sensors or in the back and some other areas, but they're more of a warning. They don't necessarily avoid objects, we'll say. That's mostly for forward moving. Now there's a new model out called a Skydio 2, and they're selling it as being very autonomous and avoiding collisions because it has 6 4K cameras mounted on top, all over, 3 on top, 3 on the bottom, and you can supposedly fly that thing like through the forest, and it's going to dodge tree limbs and go over and around and whatever. Doesn't necessarily have. It's got a very, very good camera, but from what I've seen and people I know that have them, it's not quite as good a quality camera that you're going to find on some other models, but it's a step in the right direction. Now, the new Evo 2 is supposed to have very similar obstacle avoidance, front, rear, top, bottom, and sides. So that is a very important piece of technology that's coming along for drones, because I am big about low altitude flying. Again, using it for dolly tracking, 50 feet and below. And so obstacle avoidance and collision avoidance is a pretty important thing to have.
And then Dean just asked a question, and you and I actually spoke about that new DJI Mavic Mini that they're touting as literally
much like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a lot of experience with it. I love this. I love this guy. Just absolutely love it. The 249 gram rule, what that pertains to, and to be honest, it's more of a marketing thing. Any drone 250 grams or greater has to be registered with the FAA. And all that means is you're basically going on the FAA website, you pay $5, you get a registration number for the drone, and that's it. It doesn't mean that you can't just fly it anywhere. So again, at 249 grams, that doesn't mean if you're in controlled airspace around an airport, you still have to follow the rules. It's being kind of presented and put out there like, hey, you don't have to follow the rules. This is only 249 grams. No, that ain't it. You still follow all the same flight rules. So it's almost sort of a pointless point being made. It does not exempt you from any flight regulations. And, you can throw, a lot of people get these things and they order a bright red vinyl skin to put on it. And Joe's giving me a face. Skin to put on it or whatever to change it.
Well, we were freezing up for a second.
Oh, was it? But it doesn't take much to add 1 gram and put you over into that category anyway. So that's, I don't know. To me personally, I think it's kind of silly, but it's not something to feel like you're out of the woods. So you don't have to do it. And again, if you're flying for anything commercial like film, you do have to have a FAA Part 107 certificate to fly. So you're going to have to register your inventory anyway. So it doesn't really matter. That's again something I don't know. I kind of hope that simmers down a little, but yeah, that weight just by 1 gram exempts you from registration.
See what I mean, everybody, when I say that this guy's forgotten more about drones than I will ever learn. If you have any questions about this stuff, book a session with Terry now, and really dive into it deep with him, and he will guide you down the right path toward using these things. Terry, thank you, man. Thanks for coming on. Stick around. We're going to talk to John Dugan here. And if you're still around and in the lobby, maybe we'll bring you back up if people put more questions up. Otherwise, thank you for giving up some of your Friday night and talking to these folks, answering a couple questions. If you liked what you saw, come and book your session with Terry like tonight or tomorrow.
Awesome. Always happy to help.
Thanks, Terry.
We really do appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. He is a wealth of information when it comes to that. And one statement we didn't bring up was Kim's. And I imagine it saves a lot of money in production, which I'm assuming it absolutely does. So
it certainly does, yeah.
I didn't want to leave that one out. But now I am going to bring up Mr. John Dugan. Well, I don't know. Maybe we should bust his balls a little and just keep him hanging for a couple more minutes.
Hey, look, you know what I got to say about that?
Well, all right. So why don't you do the intro now, and I will bring him up and let everybody know what we are, what we're doing, who we're talking to.
Well, right now, there he is. It's Mr. John Dugan on the Romero Texas Indie Brigade podcast with Mr. George G. Romero and Joe Whitfield.
John, you got to turn the volume down a hair. We're getting major feedback.
Hello? Can you hear me, John?
Yep.
Gonna take a sip of coffee here.
Can you hear us? Yeah, you can hear us. We can't hear you. Yeah, we're getting major feedback.
Yeah, what's going on?
He's got earbuds in.
I can't hear him at all.
Neither can I.
No.
Hmm.
Well, everybody, John Dugan.
John, can you back out and then come back in? There may be a setting, I don't know, on a phone for speakers, and you got to put your earbuds on instead of the speakers on your phone.
Wow, this is weird.
It is. I love John to death, though. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely. I'm totally sure. I'm super excited to talk to the guys. Fix it.
John, back out all the way and come back in and see if it fixes it. Oh, okay. So, George, you're stuck with me again. With my Indie Brigade.
Oh, that's a limited edition wings, isn't it?
Right? It is.
Yeah. We're going to be taking those off the site pretty soon, actually.
So if you want a Mighty Fine beanie like this, or a trucker hat, or a t-shirt, or a hoodie, I know I got a banner for this somewhere. There it is.
Boom. You know, the thing about it is, Ian used the term like, the whole point of the merch for the Indie Brigade is if you like us, if you've ever learned anything, if you like anything we have to say, if you like our opinions, our views, if you like that punk rock sort of fuck you attitude toward filmmaking and sort of really getting down to dirty and talking about, you know, the nitty gritty of making movies and getting it done against all the odds. If you feel like you've learned anything from us, just support us, buy some merch, help us keep the servers running, help us keep the lights on. Also, if you don't have your Indie Brigade badge up on your Facebook profile photo, make sure you go and do that. Wave that flag, carry that membership card, let everybody know that you're a part of the Indie Brigade and that you've got people now. That's a big problem with a lot of indie filmmakers. You know, you spend a lot of time feeling like you're out there struggling and fighting. You're on your own trying to get stuff done.
Let's see what happens. Oh, I'm not hearing feedback.
Yeah, but there's no picture.
Nope. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Damn it. And John's a little frozen up.
And you're right. You know, I mean that it runs rampant. It's everywhere. I'm even hearing feedback when I answer, so I'm just gonna. Wow. Somebody's playing Qbert.
I don't think it's up. He dropped out completely again.
All right.
I'm going to go back to some, let's see, Ange.
Yeah, I was talking about that one, actually. I was just replying to that.
Sorry.
You interrupted me again. Hang on, Ange.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I just need to blame
What?
Joe. Just going to have some coffee. No, she's absolutely right. It's real life versus that fake Hollywood stuff. You know, the problem is that fake Hollywood stuff, that's such a broad term, and it's been it gets thrown around. Look, I've been in this business my whole life. I lived in LA for a very long time. There's plenty of great people in this industry. There really are. I think that what we talk about when we use the broader terms is the larger studio systems that are becoming more and more algorithmed up, right? They're operating from spreadsheets as opposed to instinct. And when you really think about what built the entertainment industry, the film industry, and specifically, it was instinct. It was creative instinct in the artists, on the side of the artists, and then it was a business instinct on the side of the investors and the studios, and they would roll the dice on people and they would try stuff, and because it hadn't been done a million times, and so they had to try it to see what would work. And that's what's gone. It's all algorithms and spreadsheets. And if you're out there making no budget films, and you think that it's you've got a fair shot to get your stuff into the big studio system, there's just a different way to kind of hack in there now. It used to be, when I was coming up, if you wanted to hack your way into a shortcut, you had to go find where somebody was eating dinner 3 days a week and figure out how to, knock their server out and bring them their pasta. You know what I mean? There's different ways to kind of hack the system these days, which we can talk about in a future episode. Matt says it just seems so impossible to get noticed. Well, that's because there's so much content being created. There's so many outlets for it. Everybody wants to get noticed, and everybody, kind of feels like they should be getting noticed. It's always been hard work. It's the same hard work. It's just different. The tech has shifted over time. It's still hard work. Even people who say it's an overnight success. I never met an overnight success that didn't take at least 10 years. And most of the time closer to 15 or even 20 years. You know what I mean? Before these people get what, technically noticed, right? They've been out there grinding it out, grinding and hustling and working on trying to get their projects made, trying to get seen, trying to get noticed by this person or that person. Now people want to get noticed on a bigger scale because the eyeballs is the new currency, right? Eyeballs is the new currency. It's no longer dollars, it's eyeballs when it comes to the lower and the no budget indie filmmaking, and that's the other thing we're trying to change here. And Dean is watching tonight, and Dean is a huge, Dean's the vice president of acquisitions and distribution for Romero Pictures now. And, this is a mission that he and I have discussed for more than a decade. And it's how do you get films seen? How do you get filmmakers paid? How do you get people who are generally chewed up and swallowed by the system into their own sandbox where they don't have to fear the system? And that's what we're working on doing, not only with the Indie Brigade, but with the distribution efforts that we're putting forth, and also with the end goal of getting, obviously, to the Veterans Compound, which is sort of basically the end goal of everything that we're doing here. And essentially what we're doing is we're creating an ecosystem for film production, for independent film production. More on that later as well.
Well, I don't know if you happen to see Libby and Matt's Blu-ray cover or case. That
I did, and
it's awesome.
And it's awesome. And a huge congratulations to Libby. I mean, you guys have come. You've gone so far with your film, and it's just amazing and inspiring to watch you guys, what you're doing, and and you just have to get out there and grind it out. There's the expression grind and hustle, right? I don't know if that's an expression, but those are the two terms. I think if you want to get noticed, go out there and hustle. If you want to sustain, then go out there and grind. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Hold on one second. John's still trying to figure out some technical issues right now. Let's see. Oh, we got Sean. Got to order his Scare Tactical merch tonight.
Hell yeah. Sean Smithson and Smithson Creations actually sponsors Ian's blog, The Devil is Into Details. So they're Sean and his company, his woodworking company, is the official sponsor of Ian's blog, The Devil is Into Details.
So what are we doing right now again, George? I'm sorry.
Well, right now we're just kicking it, man, here at the Romero Pictures Indie Brigade podcast with your host, George C. Romero and Joe Ridgely. Why don't you say it once, you fucking dick? I'm not your trained circus animal.
Oh, no.
You're listening to Romero Pictures Indie Brigade podcast. Sorry, Joe. I'm sorry, Joe. Not the hose again.
Put the lotion in the basket. No. Oh, all right. We're gonna see.
I need to get more coffee.
Oh,
Still happening.
John, we're still getting that feedback. And We can't hear you whatsoever.
All right, I'm getting more coffee.
You're okay. So George
So
is
you-
getting more
you-
coffee.
Yeah. Hey, you leave me hanging sometime, so here you go. I'll be right back.
I am not your trained monkey. Okay, maybe I am.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I can hear you now.
Hey.
Somewhat.
Yeah, it was those fucking
Hey.
99-cent earbuds. But let me go out to my truck and get my good ones.
All right, you're a little on the choppy side, but
Well, hold on.
you're here ladies and
Oh, hey,
gentlemen, John Dugan.
Hey, Joe. How you been, Joe?
What is happening, John?
Oh, my God, you ugly son of a bitch.
Oh,
I'm
you
sorry
sexy
about that.
bastard.
You know, I heard that penis-sized thing that you mentioned before, and, you know, being, I haven't been I've been a shrimp my whole life, but it makes my dick look really big. In comparison to my body size. But there's something that little guys like me say. It ain't the size of the ship, it's the motion of the ocean.
That's right. And I just have to address Becky Romero, if I may. Yes, Becky, please keep your man in check.
Oh, hey, Becky.
Oh, wow.
I have to use this. Look, isn't this a cool truck? I got for $2,900.
All we see is you in the dark.
Okay. Yeah, I bought a 1979 Chevy fucking pickup truck after the fall season. Gets about 11 miles to a gallon. It's got a big old 350 in it. Sounds great.
A true American vehicle.
Oh shit, man! It's really fucking cool. God damn, it's cold out here tonight. Okay. Hey, Goober, you have to go out. No, you don't have to go. Just pee over there.
Well, you're actually doing pretty good outside. I hope it doesn't kill the signal inside.
Huh?
I said you were doing really good outside. I hope it doesn't kill the signal inside.
Well, you can put it on my park and go out if you want me to.
No, you're doing fine right now. So, John, I'm going to pull something up real fast, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on
I love when you talk dirty like
So, there was a little something. Just watch the clip and let me know what was going on here.
오스카 측에서 허락한다면 텍사스 전기톱으로 이렇게 5개로 잘라서 나누고 싶은 마음입니다.
And Todd and Sam, great directors that I admire. If the Academy allows, I would like to get a Texas chainsaw, split the Oscar trophy into 5, and share it with all of you.
Well, that was so fucking cool. Plus, Renee won another Academy Award. So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre had a great Oscars,
Well, wait a second. You mean this Renee right here?
Yeah. Look at me and Renee. I just stole the scene completely from her in that.
Absolutely.
It was like her only or second film. I think after Dazed and Confused or something. She was like 22 and I was 40.
Go, Grandpa.
Yeah. Yeah, she loved me. She kind of stalked me for a while. I had to say, honey, you're a little too young for me.
Well, I think George actually wants to come back in now, but
hey, John.
All right, hold on one second. I got to rearrange a couple of things here.
Okay, I'm going to try these earbuds now.
Hold on a second. Let me get that and that. Okay, now I feel a little more.
Is that better? Is all right in your world now, Joe? John, can you hear me? How's it going?
Okay, well, I'm going to try to put these earbuds in now.
All right.
These are my good ones. Hello?
Hello? Are you there?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Joe fixed it?
We can see him also. No, John fixed it.
I think
Don't
maybe
fuck
those.
things up.
I think maybe those other earbuds and microphones no good on
You know what we do around here? We just blame Joe.
them.
I had coffee mugs.
Does that say blame Joe on there?
Yes, it does. It says blame.
I blame him for everything.
That's what I'm saying. There it is, right there. It's actually a big, the message that we're trying to spread here with the Romero Pictures Indie Brigade. The blame Joe message is bigger than that. I mean, it's global. You could blame Joe for the fucking coronavirus if you want to. One way or another, I'm sure it's his fucking fault.
Oh, everything is. And, I had a hard time. I had rather a difficult morning bowel movement, and I thought, fucking Joe.
Yeah, exactly. We got to get you one of these mugs. So, John, I can't thank you.
Coffee mug freak. I don't have room for all of them. I had to move half of them to the back porch last year.
Every couple of years, I just take my coffee mugs out and shoot them. Then I get new ones.
Do you like throw them up in the air and shoot them?
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Listen, I can't thank you enough for coming on here tonight, man. I saw Joe was talking to you about the Oscars this year. That was pretty cool, huh? That was pretty cool for the.
Yeah, very.
What did that feel like? What did you think when you saw? I mean, what went through your mind when you were,
I was like, honey, holy shit! He just mentioned the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So,
what's that like? That's my question to you. My first big question to you. What's that like to be part of literally one of the biggest independent horror films in the history of this entire industry, and to be, such a great part of it? What's that like for you when you see people reference it and you see people talk about it the way they do? They revere it as like almost holy. How's that feel, right? From your.
Oh, it's always a rush, but then part of me goes, okay, where's the fucking money? Where's my share? But no, it's always fucking cool,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've been through a lot. You've had an amazing career. You've done a ton of shit. You've become a huge supporter of the Indie Brigade. I mean, what is it about the indie stuff that what is it you think about the indie stuff that keeps you there?
Because they keep hiring me. Well, I think there's a couple things about indie horror anyway. I do indie anything. I do an indie sitcom if somebody asked me to.
Sure.
But I'm an actor. I'm not, that's the thing about, I'm going to digress here, but thing about horror fans, and working out there and meeting fans and doing, conventions and everything and shaking hands and signing autographs. When I first started doing that about maybe 13, 14 years ago now, I was amazed that fans think we all live in a big compound together. They're like, so have you seen Fred Johnson? And you go, who's that? You go, he was the gaffer on the third Halloween movie. Like, why the fuck would I know Fred Johnson?
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that big time. I get all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, but I can't remember what. About indie stuff. Well, there's a lot of passionate young filmmakers for one thing.
Yeah.
And like I say, to hire me.
Yeah. But you're right. There's more passion. There's more. It's not been handpicked by a studio system. It's not being paid to just push out more of the same shit. It's where people get to create, and how much freedom do you have and have you had, when it comes to being in these things? Like, how much leeway are you given? Because
as an actor?
Yeah, because they
always ask for my input. I did a film a few years ago, where it was the first day they were shooting my scene, and it was in an office, and I was sitting behind a desk. I played a psychologist, and they pointed the camera at me, and they set one light up next to the camera and shot it towards me. And I said, whoa. Are you ready to roll, on this? I said, yeah. I said, you got a lighting kit? The guy went, yeah. I said, get it out. I said, give me one over here, bounce me something over here. I want one back here, hitting right here, and rim my ear over here with,
Yeah.
And
Well,
so they got everything. They got everything out. I said, now look through your lens. And the guy went, wow. Yeah, there you go.
Right. It's it's funny how so many people don't stop to think about that stuff. And this goes back to what I was saying while we were having some issues getting you in the show tonight. I think there's so much reliance on technology nowadays that people forget how things, or have never bothered learning, or have never had the opportunity to learn how it used to be done. When you did the original Chainsaw,
yeah,
and for some of the handheld shots, that was on a big ass camera with a handful of people all around it, and it was, a handheld shot involved multiple people because it had to, right?
Yeah.
And the way things were lit, I mean, those things were done that way for a reason. And a lot of the indie folks today, and especially a lot of the younger indie folks and the newer filmmakers, they're not really privy to a lot of that information. So,
well, a lot of them have never taken a basic photography class. They don't know composition and lighting, which is everything.
Well, absolutely. Yeah.
And so the advent of high definition digital video, has made it really affordable for young talented filmmakers to put their vision up there. It's also made it really affordable to let no talented fucking idiots put
well,
put
no,
their vision up there.
I'm saying, like this guy Matt, he said, and I think this is Matt String. I think it's the same. I think we've got two of the same guy.
Yeah, there's a Matt.
He says just start shooting action, and he's right on so many levels, because look.
Oh, they're so anxious. They're so anxious just to start shooting stuff.
Yeah, but you know what, I was too, even back in the day. Like when I made my first movie, man, I didn't know fucking shit all about anything. I grabbed a camera and I fucking ran out there, and it sucked. And I made my mom watch it, and I made my dad watch it, and my mom said, you shouldn't show that to your dad. And my dad went, oh dear fucking God. And
my dad said that about everything I tried to do.
And
yeah, you're hopeless.
Yeah. So then I started, asking questions, and I started learning where I could, and I started sneaking onto film crews and film sets, and that's how I learned. And I would watch, yes, I was very lucky. I got to watch my dad do some stuff. But for the most part, I had to learn all of it on my own, because he wasn't the type that was going to be like, hey, let me take you under my wing and teach you. Right. And most people in the film industry back then didn't, because if we ever learned how to do this shit, it was like
our job from.
Yeah. Hey man, how'd you light that scene? Fuck you. That's how I lit that scene. So
I worked as a grip for many years.
Yeah.
Doing industrial film and TV commercials and stuff like that. And we were shooting on some of the stuff I shot was on like Panny 35. Excuse me, my dog's going nuts over here.
Yeah.
What's up, bud? Look, empty. Sorry, pal. So I had a lot of on-camera training, and then when I became like in my I guess about 40 or something, I moved back to Chicago from the Bay Area, and started working as a, behind the camera. So I worked as a lighting and electrical grip, dolly grip, camera operator sometimes if it was a studio shoot and there was like a big, it was a 2-camera bit with big studio fucking, ikigami thing on a pod,
Yep.
And you got headsets on and you just stand there.
Yeah.
Until the director in the booth goes, Dugan, what? You're drifting. Oh, yeah.
I'm back.
Well, that's kind of boring, man. That's boring shit. But so I had the, advantage of having done all that,
Yeah,
and
see, a lot of people don't, and a lot of people, who were in front of the camera never bothered getting behind the camera, and that's one of the things I respect most about you, actually.
And so we shot on 16, 35 beta. We shot a lot of beta.
Yeah,
because they were fine. It never took off as a home thing that as home video much, but they were fine cameras.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and their first chip cameras were just out of this world.
Yeah,
it's so easy to run and gun out on a fucking road. You just pack it up and go.
Yeah,
they were just like big camcorders.
Yeah,
they actually had onboard. You could just stick a cassette in there and slam it.
Yeah,
and the onboard microphones were,
they were okay.
Yeah,
they were good enough. But nowadays, I mean, the level of quality of that we can get just in our pockets alone on these cell phones with these lens attachments and all this stuff, it's unbelievable the stuff that people can do these days. And I know that you've been through a lot. You just you survived some very serious stuff. Yeah,
I can't say that yet. You can't say you're a survivor for like 5 years. I got like 3 years to go yet, or 3.5 years to go.
Well, I know that we're thrilled that you've come through it this far, man.
But I am. Let's just say I'm clean right now, and my next scan is in May. Man, I feel old.
Yeah.
But I just turned 67 years old last week. So.
Well, happy belated birthday to you. We saw that.
Thank
We
you.
saw a lot of the love going out to you on the internet there, on the socials,
Thank you.
as the kids call it these days.
What is that what they call it?
I guess. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
They say, but they say rando instead of random, which is neat.
Yeah, they say a lot of things.
Have you also noticed that if there's a T in the middle of a multisyllabic word, they drop it and they just use a glottal stop now, like they're Cockneys or something.
Yeah.
Instead of saying important, they go important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know.
I sound like my dad now, but
Hey, that's
Doritos,
all right.
you call that music?
That's all right. You know what? I spent 2 hours today yelling at my television, so I think I'm getting there.
I scream at other drivers a lot, all by myself in my truck. Hey, you fucking idiot!
I don't do so well in places like grocery stores anymore.
Particularly on senior day when you got old ladies going like 2 miles an hour in front of you. Or they'll stop. Two of them will stop in the middle of the aisle and just start chatting to each other.
Yeah, just to catch up.
Yeah, Bonnie had a heart attack. Oh, I haven't had a bowel movement in 4 days.
Let's see. We've got Joe's popping some comments up here. Matt says he's glad you're okay.
Thanks, Matt.
And Ange says you look great.
Yeah, I do, don't I?
Nobody ever tells me I look great. But you do. You look phenomenal, John. And we're all thrilled that you've come through it. What do you go? What does the future hold for you? What are you trying to get into next? What's the next chapter for John?
Oh man, I want to work more.
Yeah.
I did the last sizable role I had in a film was Rock, Paper, Scissors, which was directed by Tom Holland and co-written by Victor Miller from Friday the 13th, the original Friday the 13th, and his partner Carrie Fleming, and it was just a meaty role, and I had so much fun doing it. And it was really the best role I'd had since I was in the theater.
Yeah.
Really. And I was happy with my work, and I just want to do some more of that stuff. I've turned into an old character actor now, and I just fucking love doing that shit. And I wanted to do more of that, And I've done one since my surgery, and then I took half my fucking jaw out. They took out my fibula of my left leg and made a jaw out of it. And I'm like, you're gonna take out my whole fibula? And they go, oh yeah, you don't need it. Bullshit. That's what keeps her from falling over backwards. So you're like, I have to watch the way I turn and back up. She's like, whoa. Stacy's gotten so used to it, she just looks at the dog and goes, there goes Daddy.
Man, look, I'm so happy that you support what we're doing here with the brigade, and I want you to know that we absolutely love you, man. And whatever we can do to help you, whatever we can do to help.
Okay, I got an idea. Cast me in something.
we got you. You are very involved with the brigade. Just continue being involved, and we're building collaboration. We got tons of filmmakers. Right. We'll put the word out.
Everybody out there, I am totally available for casting, and I'm reasonable. I ain't free, but I'm reasonable.
Joe says he heard you're not reasonable.
I mean, financially reasonable.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you got to specify these things.
I'm not reasonable, Joe. I'm sorry. I should have been more specific about it.
We require qualifiers here at the Indie Brigade.
By the way, I thought the segment on drones was really fascinating.
Yeah, Terry's a great guy. I literally mean it when I say he's forgotten more about drones than I'll ever fucking learn, man. That guy is like a crazy genius about it.
You know what I wonder about the drones, the type of drones they use for, cameras or kids play with or whatever to spy on the neighbor girls, Some, the girl sunbathing in her backyard. But, is why did it take,
why did it take so long for them
somebody to come up with the idea of a fucking quadricopter?
Well, you know what? Maybe we've got somebody here who can answer your question.
Terry.
Hey, John.
I mean, why? It's just
it's so basic. Take us down. Let them have a conversation about this.
I don't know. No, I've been in technology for a long time, so I'm kind of familiar with sort of the back end of what it takes to put a drone in the air, especially a quad. Because if you look at it and if you think about it, it flies not only up and down, but also forward, back, left, right, does all these things. A lot like an airplane would, but notice it doesn't have any wings. So the props have to operate in such a way that it controls lift, whether it be up and down, and also thrust and all the other propulsion.
But so does a helicopter, and they've been around forever.
It does, but it's got the helicopter has the opposing props that kind of got it. The big thing was miniaturization of the technology, of the components, of the processors and all to get it down to a manageable size. They've had big drones for quite a while. And when I say big, I mean like the size of a Volkswagen. I mean, really big, clunky things like that. And the other thing that hamstrings it, and still yet to an extent, is battery technology. How to get them in the air? What was going to fuel it? So now like this guy I mentioned earlier. This is my main drone, and this much of it is battery. Trying to get that on screen. So about a third of it is battery. This, if I'm conservative, and your battery consumption will vary depending on what you're doing, how fast you're flying, how much wind and things like that. But you'll get 25 minutes if you push it, if you're lucky. I usually bring it in at about 15 minutes just to be safe. But once we see battery technology come down in size and in weight, that's going to really propel us forward. The new model of this is going to get about 5 minutes more battery life. That doesn't sound like a whole lot, but to what we do, that's like, yay! It's like this big bag of gold fell out of the sky, so it means a lot. But then
it's like on the we shot Texas Chainsaw Massacre with a lot of short ends of film that Danny, our cinematographer, Danny Pearl, had been saving up for like 2 years in film school in his refrigerator. They spliced together and everything, and we did things on such a cheap thing. So we couldn't shoot more than 5 minutes.
Wow. Yeah.
That's how much the reel lasted, was 5 minutes. I guess maybe that's the standard reel, 5 minutes even on a 35. I don't know. But so we were what was the term used? Hamstringed by that. If you had something really good, it was like, oh fuck, if the actors are really clicking and everything looks good, you want to keep going. It's like, fuck.
And then you're
yeah.
that happens to me. It's like I preach this, and in fact, in my show that went out yesterday, I just touched on it for a second. But budgeting and economy, you don't really think about that in these things. But hey, when I pull those sticks down, those props spin the first time, that clock starts ticking in the back of my mind. It's like, okay, let's get off the ground and get to work here, because we've only got X number of minutes to do this. And so thinking about those things and budgeting how much leeway, how much time you've got to get that shot and all that, but still not shortcut it, not rush it, not make it choppy and janky too. So you've got to balance the quality and all that too. But yeah, there's a lot going on with the drones, the processors for the cameras. Again, getting that technology down to a nice, small, manageable size, and with the really high quality cameras, like we were talking about, or you all were talking about a minute ago, about the cameras on cell phones being so small but so powerful now. It's just amazing as we've seen that technology get smaller and get more affordable. So, you could have had these things 10 years ago, but it was a wee bit pricier than it is now too. So it's all these things are kind of converging to make that really nice tool.
That makes total sense. One more question. Are you a one-man show, or do you work with an assistant?
I'm pretty much a one-man show. I do a couple other things too. I'm also a writer on drone technology, and I work as an FAA drone pro, working with new operators and things like that. But this is my primary thing. But it's just me. I'm kind of the janitor and CEO and the whole shooting match. So,
Terry, do you happen to know Ron Stott, Massachusetts? He's a FAA drone. He's a drone operator.
He just got certified, actually.
No, I don't know.
Oh yeah, Joe, you know it. Yeah, we spent one very long night together trying to get him to make sense. Remember?
Oh, John, I remember all too well.
Well, finally, that fucking Jaeger, Dan said, "Ron, how much have you had to drink, man?" It's like, just red wine.
About 3 or 4 bottles. That was over on Dan Yeager's Bad Anger Pictures show. George has been on Dan's show. Dan's been on our show. And
Yep. Well, this is awesome. That was actually probably one of my favorite moments in the Indie Brigade podcast history, having John on to interview Terry about drones.
I think I'm getting hustled off. I'm getting shuffled off to Buffalo.
No, you're not at all. I was just saying that was an amazing segment, and I hope Terry answered your questions. And You know, John, you're always welcome on this show, man. I really hope you consider coming back on the show a lot.
I will, absolutely.
We're trying to really spread a message here. We're trying to really bring back that, back when Chainsaw was made, man, it was made with that punk rock fuck you attitude. Movies were made with a very fucking indie garage band fuck you attitude back then. That was the only way that these grungy films that became so important to pop culture.
Well, yeah, Toby had that attitude towards all of us.
Well, yeah, and they were literally blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, Hollywood has forever said to filmmakers like everybody from back then to people who do this stuff today, Hollywood has forever said, fuck you guys. And the indie spirit says, no, fuck you. And we go and we do it anyway. And that's what the Indie Brigade's all about, man. So, I can't tell you how happy I am that you're part of things. And that
well, I'm all in, man. I'm all in. Anything I can do to help you.
Yeah, we got to get him in the group. I'll put him in the group later on tonight.
Get you in the group tonight, and then we got to get you working.
It's not a sexual thing, is it, Joe?
Well, it depends. Do you want it to be?
Yeah, that's up to you completely. There is a safe word.
What is a safe word?
Arugula.
Removing bones.
Hey, Terry, thanks for talking to me, man. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you for the question. I appreciate it. It's great to chat with you.
Yeah.
All right, Terry.
I'm going to walk my dog.
Go on. Do
I
it.
have to walk the dog.
All right.
Is that a metaphor?
I got to see a man about a horse.
Is that a porn thing?
Oh, okay. John's going to take a dump. Am I the only one old enough to know what that saying meant?
I dropped the kids off in the pool.
So, John, before you go, let us know where we can find you on social media, what you got going on. I know you did a little voiceover work recently.
I have done 2 gigs since I got my jaw removed. And, I was in a panic. Being an actor and finding out I had oral cancer was horrifying. And my voice has always been a lot to me. And one of the biggest influences in my life was my voice and speech teacher in theater school. But he changed my life, because when I reached was 18, 19 years old and went to theater school in Chicago, in the big city, I pretty much sounded like this. Hey, how you doing? It was like, I'd try to get a date. I'd be like, hey, you wouldn't want to go out with me, would you? I didn't think so. And this guy had faith in me and worked with me, and it really turned my life around. So when I found out that they were going to be fucking around in my mouth, I was just in a panic. And I luckily, which I didn't realize at the time, Vanderbilt University Cancer Clinic here in Nashville. Well, I live like outside of Nashville in bumfuck, but has possibly the best head and neck cancer clinic in the country. And it just so happened this is where I got sick. And my team of doctors did a great job, and so I ended up with a minor, speech impediment. And I had a great speech therapist who, worked with me and pushed me and to give me, you can get it back. You can do it. You can do it. And she would come to my house once a week, work for a couple hours and give me exercise to do. And so the fact that, a year and a half, oh no, wait a minute. It's like less than a year after my surgery, I had a film gig. And then a few months after that, I had a voiceover job, so wow. I wasn't expecting really ever to be able to work again when I, first going into this. So I'm thankful. Trust me.
Well, we're thankful that you're working again too, man. And we really do want to see you work more and work as much as you want to. That's part of everything we're trying to get done here with the brigade too. So seriously, let's get him in the group. Let's get him going, and let's throw him into the mix. You say you want to work. You say you want to collaborate, man. The Indie Brigade is all about it. So let's get it going.
All in, man.
All right, brother. Thank you so much,
guys.
Thank you for spending
Joe,
some time with us.
Just maybe do her like 3 times, tonight for Valentine's Day, to give her that like 6 inches that she needs or whatever.
Wait a second. Here it is. There it is.
I love you guys.
And we love you, John. I will be talking to you soon. And thank you again for joining us. And I'll invite you to that group very shortly.
Okay.
Have a great night.
Good
So long,
night.
guys. Hey, Terry, thanks a lot. It was nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you. It's great to meet you.
And George,
too.
thank you. It was nice to meet you. I guess we never really met face to face before. So.
Not face to face. You've never seen me outside your window.
No. I'm looking at you through the window.
John, before you leave, what do you got for people who want to follow you or keep up with you? Do you have
just
social
Facebook. And I got stuff. If they want to buy stuff, I sell it over. I sell autographed stuff over through my Facebook page, and I also have stuff up on the official Texas Chainsaw Massacre website as well. So
awesome.
And a good deal of the stuff that Chainsaw, that Kim Henkel and Ian, his son, the shirts that they're selling of me on there, it goes to my medical expenses. So.
Okay, well, let's start pushing that too for you.
Absolutely.
Definitely go buy some shit and help John cover his medical bills. Otherwise, if you don't, you're a bad fucking person.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And we will hunt you down and throat punch you.
Door to door. We're going to deliver door to door throat punches.
Yeah, I just lay in a ditch right before a huge thunderstorm. Drown in mud, or fall into a septic tank. When you're out just walking around on some deserted property, there's like 100-year-old poop in the thing.
John's going pretty dark here.
Oh, sorry.
He is, but he has it all like preempted. He's
Let's see where it's going.
Lord.
I get carried away sometimes.
100. Oh wow.
100-year-old.
John, you're awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much, man.
We'll catch up with you later. Thanks, John.
Good night, brother.
Good night.
Well, see, that's it. I'm going to hit the little red X down here.
Have a great night. Bye.
Terry.
Man, that was fun.
Wait a minute. Terry's still here? What the hell? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, so now that you guys are there right next to each other on screen, I want to take a moment and finally see if we can get you guys past this, whatever the fuck it is. Terry's a great guy, Joe, and I don't know, none of us know why you have a fucking problem with him.
Yeah. What is it?
We need to just air this out, figure it out. What the fuck's your problem?
I'm sorry, Terry who?
He's thinking about having John plan your demise right now because he knows John's going to put the work into it. 100-year-old poop. What the fuck?
I think I can get a drone over that far too.
Not for only 25 minutes.
That's just what I talk about. There's secret stuff in the basement.
No, we're talking about drone stuff, Terry.
Oh. John has my mind.
No, wait a minute, Terry. We're talking about your impellers.
Oh. That yeah.
I don't like openly talk about.
Not live.
There's no room for impellers in this conversation. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like this is.
We'll have to get Samantha Wagner to talk about the impellers.
It's just not right talking about impellers without Samantha.
Yeah, that was kind of fucked up, Joe.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking, and
there we go. God damn it, Joe! Really, seriously. And yes, just so anybody wants to know, yes, all of that is directly on the mug. Boom! Blame Joe. God damn it, Joe! Really, seriously.
That is a very pretty mug.
It really is.
And you know, you did a mug change after you left.
I did. No, I've got them both here.
Oh, multi-mugging.
Double fisting. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, whoops, sorry, wrong one. Oh.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Emperor. She just repeated.
I think Joe just enjoys playing with tech equipment and has more toys. Now I have the power.
Buttons.
All right. Listen, I'm calling it.
All right, we're going to drop Terry out for a moment. Terry, thank you, and I apologize. It wasn't the most conventional show with you coming on and then dropping out. And
no, it's perfectly fine.
But
I love it. It's cool.
I got you on with John Dugan.
Nice.
Yeah, you taught John Dugan some shit about drones. That's cool.
Talking drones with John Dugan? I mean, really?
Yeah.
Let's put Terry on the spot. Terry, so what are we talking about, and where are we, and where can you find us?
We're here right now. See how I threw that back?
Where's now? Where's now and when is here?
When is here and there is now? Well, where we are is, of course, right here. You can find us at Romero Pictures Indie Brigade on Facebook. And you can find us there anytime. So how's that for a win?
Boom. Look at that. Joe's got a crawl prepared. YouTube channel, Facebook. Oh, it's starting over. Hang on. Like, subscribe, and follow.
See, you're just making me dance. You're like, dance, make me dance.
I am puppet master.
And of course, you can go to RomeroPictures.com to get all of your merch. Support us. Keep us on the air. Keep our servers going. Keep everybody happy, and keep it so that we can. Yeah, basically. So, listen. If you like what you see, if you've learned anything, if you want to learn more, go over and check out the mentor program. Book a session with Terry. Book a session with me. We've got some people booking sessions with Michael Mandeville, who will be back again soon. We've got some cool stuff going on. Keep checking us out. Keep supporting. Keep coming back to things. I got nothing.
Yeah. Well, Terry, before you go, I don't know if you want to plug Black Dog or anything, because I'm going to drop you out momentarily.
Yeah.
I might do it mid-sentence.
So you want me to talk like really fast? Like an auctioneer fast.
Like the Micro Machine Man.
Micro Machine Man. Yeah, well, you can find me at my website is blackdogdroneops.com, and you can also email me, Terry at blackdogdroneops.com. Pretty easy to find. I'm based in Central Florida, so just locate me on there if you have a quick question or anything like that. Again, anything deeper or more involved or specific, available on the mentor program. Every Thursday, I've got a new video being uploaded to our YouTube channel, and also some upcoming blog posts on the blog as well. So I'm always pretty engaged and accessible. So if you're thinking about drones, using them now, you just in any possible scenario, let me know if you need help with it, and we'll take it from there.
I'm always thinking about drones.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, Terry. Thank you.
Good night, Terry.
Thank you. See
you. We got Lauren. Thank you,
Lauren,
sir.
Thank you, buddy.
And we have Judith. Oh, I'm assuming that may be his mother.
Maybe.
Alrighty then. One more scroll, just so I can, I don't know, regurgitate the information off of it. So if you want to follow us on audio only and you don't want to see our mugs, I don't know why you wouldn't want to see.
Why wouldn't anybody want to see my mug?
iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pandora, TuneIn, Radio Public, and Breaker. You want me to do that again? George, were you paying attention?
No, I wasn't. But there's a scroll. Watch this. Never mind.
It went by too fast.
Gonna
Gotta
need
be
to
a
slow that
little
down.
quicker. Go ahead.
Our audio-only podcasts can be found on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pandora, TuneIn Radio, Public, and Breaker.
All right. So, anything else?
No, that's it. Just seriously, look, we're trying really hard here. We're trying to get this message out. We're trying to get everybody together. We're trying to bring the collaboration back, and we're trying to remind Hollywood that the more they say "fuck you," the louder we're going to say it back. So, thanks for tuning in, and everybody, fuck off till next time.
Well, no, I got to do a couple more now. Ooh, look at the scroll. Production value, Joe. See, I think a compliment. I'm not sure. And we got Judith, proud mother indeed. All right, now, I'm sorry. Say that thing you said again.
I've already said it. I don't talk after I say it. That's our thing. Remember.
Valid point.
Fuck off.